execution plan, as the name rightly suggests. So every project is having a plan to as how the project will be executed with respect to the schedule, budget, and the quality. So the type and timing of each interface is governed by the engineering workflow which needs to be provided in the project execution plan. So as I have mentioned earlier, that the type and the timing for each interface, when the interdisciplinary interface and the what are the type of interface will be happening, is already clearly mentioned in the IDC matrix or the document distribution matrix or this type of document already before the start of the project. And each engineering workflow needs to strictly adhere to this particular document so as to ensure the delivery of the deliverable with respect to integrity, quality, and right information. It is also important that all the key players or stakeholders in the engineering team do understand fully the workflow. So yes, so that's why many a times when a project is initiated or started, there is an internal, agreement or a signature in terms of agreement is done, so as to ensure that everyone, each and every stakeholder of the project has gone through this document or interdisciplinary matrix or project execution plan, and they have rightly understood that, and they agree to abide the project execution plan so as to ensure the high quality delivery of the deliverables in the project. Now, this ignorance of engineering workflow may sometimes lead to some catastrophic issues such as reworks, schedule impact, quality impact, cost impact, and finally the delivery impact. So, if someone has not rightly understood the project execution plan or the interdisciplinary coordination matrix, then this will lead to multiple reworks, which will ultimately delay in the delivery of the particular document, which will impact in the overall schedule of the project. Then this will have a quality impact, this will have a cost impact, and it will have a multiple succeeding cascading impact, which cannot be assessed rightly maybe with respect to this particular jargons. Now, what is interdisciplinary interface engineering? What we are trying to understand with respect to the previous slides. Now, let us rightly get into the point of fact that what we are really trying to emphasize with respect to the interdisciplinary interface engineering. So, a major engineering aspect for electrical discipline, which requires appropriate coordination at the correct time to avoid any mishap during the execution stage. So, as a discipline or as an individual, we should know that what is the correct time to undergo these interdisciplinary coordinations so as to avoid any mishap in the further course of engineering as we head to the final stages successively in a project lifecycle. So interfaces are broadly divided into two categories, the first being indirect interface and the second is direct interface. While indirect interface mentions about the deliverables which are exchanged as input or output without any squad check, that is interdisciplinary check, direct interface clearly specifies the deliverables that has to undergo a squad check or IDC check before that is furnished, populated or shared out of office to the client. So these two types of interfaces do happen in the project lifecycle, and that has to be clearly distinguished and identified before the initiation of the project deliverables, agreed and aligned with all the stakeholders of the project. Now, what is the basis of interface? The basis of the document which forms part of this interface includes a DCI. So DCI is the fundamental document of any project, which is called the document control index, which lists all the deliverable for a particular disciplines with the document number applicable for a project. Again repeat, DCI specifies the list of deliverables for each project with the document number applicable for a project. Then we have a DDM called the document distribution matrix or the IDC matrix, right? Which clearly specifies that for each discipline, which deliverables are to be shared as part of IDC checks or squad checks to the other departments as part of indirect interface or sometimes as part of the direct interfaces. And finally, we have the vendor documents. So these are the documents which are requires a squad check. So any project life cycle from the engineering perspective is divided into two parts. First is the pre-order engineering stage and second is the post-order engineering stage, right? The vendor document review stage rather. So in the first part, this DDM is strictly followed, and some cases the vendor document matrix is also formed wherein which vendor documents are also to be shared to the other departments for getting their inputs in order to have a codification of further vendor document. That is also important. So all these three documents which we mentioned, DCI, document distribution matrix and vendor document distribution matrix, that forms the interface for the interdisciplinary engineering document.